Yo, what the fuck is up, YouTube? It's your boy Haunted back with another fucking video today, and I'm coming at y'all with another story time. Before that, I just want to say we're really close to 1K subscribers, so I just want to say if you watch my videos and you're not subscribed, I would kindly ask you to subscribe because we're actually like 5 subscribers away. So if you want to like potentially just be like the 1,000 sub, please subscribe, my boy. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the story. I'm not gonna lie, guys, that probably took me the most tries out of any intro I've ever done, as now I'm on PC and I'm actually computer illiterate. So, without further ado, actually, this time let's get right into the story. So, this is a Benadryl classic, okay, guys? It's been a very long time since I've talked about the Benny on this channel, and for good reason. I'm just gonna be real. I don't really like it that much, and I just feel like it's really bad for you. I don't know. I just feel like it's ass, but I'm gonna talk about it for the one time because we all got stories about it. We were all like 14 at one point, right? We loved them pink shits, right? So basically, as I said, I was 14 about two and a half fucking, yeah, damn near 3 years ago now. It's 2020 fucking four, guys. So, about like 2 years ago, two and a half, I was 14 and I was just ready to do some Benadryl, right? If you guys have been a fan of the channel for a long time, you guys would know that I used to be a fiend for the shit. Like, I would take like so much. Like, I actually didn't know until like recently that it wasn't normal to like for a lot of people that trip on the shit to take as much as I was, because I would just like rip through bottles of the shit. Like if I had 600 Benadryls, I was doing a good fucking fraction of them. I wasn't a quitter. So now I know that's terribly unhealthy and that I don't know how I didn't have a stroke, but we'll talk about that later. I never had a stroke, but I could have. So yeah, guys, back to the main point of the story. Um so I'm just sitting there ready to take these Benadryls, right? I'm sitting there waiting or whatever. I used to wait until around 10 o'clock at night. I actually remember that specifically. I might have mentioned it in another Benadryl story before, or DXM. It was kind of all mashed together at that point in my life when I was really spamming the decks at like the age that I was at or whatever. So, I would continue to take, I was going to take these pills on this night, and I had waited to till 10 p.m. approximately at night. And I guess that was why, or I guess it was because like that's probably why my siblings go to sleep. So I guess I just like don't want them to see me geeked on Ben. I don't like I didn't. I guess at the time I didn't care if my mom saw me geeked on Ben. I guess I did care. I didn't want it to happen, but I was less indifferent if it was like if my sister saw me on Ben, I'll probably just get confused and scared. Um, so I take these pills or whatever, and back then I used to have this like ritual because I was just like a complete crash out. So I didn't like count the pills that I would take. So I would just like I would just smash a bunch of Benadryls and like call it a day, right? But I'm assuming that this dose was closer to 800 just because that's like I eyeballed it and it was just like a fistful of them. So I'm just gonna say 800. It could have been more though, and it could have been less, right? So about 600 to 1,000 milligrams of Benadryl. Right now, 1,000 might seem insane to y'all, but at this time, I had actually developed such a tolerance to Benadryl that I had a perma tolerance at 500 milligrams. So I don't even know how that happens. I'm gonna be real. Like that's actually insane saying it out loud. But I had a perma tolerance that was that high at that point. So the fistful game was like it was all out, right? So I take my little fucking fistful serving, 8 tablespoons of Benadryl pills, right? And I take these shits, right? I don't know how much 8 tablespoons are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. But so I take these fucking a lot of Benadryls, right? And now I'm just sitting waiting for the effects, right? And a lot of the times I can remember this very specifically, right? I would always go to the kitchen right before the come up just because, like, I felt like walking around off Benadryl like might trigger something, or I would like see something cool just because I'm actually being active or doing something. Because sometimes I would like lose track of time and not know how much time had passed, right? So I did that, right? And I had a common Mister Someone visit me out the corner of my eye, right? So there was this like monster that popped out the corner. I always saw monsters on my higher doses, but it wasn't like shadow monsters like everybody on the internet seems to want to say, or like spiders and shit. Like I would see just like, you guys ever seen like those like fucking liminal cursed monster images or whatever? I would see shit like that pop out a door frame, kind of like, I don't know, Nightmare Chica at the end of the hallway in FNAF 4. I would see that type of shit, right? Just imagine it just like that, Nightmare Chica at the end of the hallway. If you guys have ever seen that shit, right? So I actually ended up seeing this monster, right? And at the time, I actually just didn't give a fuck. Like, I saw that and I was just like, oh, it worked, bet. I'm actually gonna get high as fuck this time, right? I don't know how much I took, but I definitely was enough because I just seen a damn entity in my fucking in my vision, bro. I just said entity with the hardest T's I've ever said in my life. Holy fuck. But I see this entity, right? And I start walking back to my room or whatever after I see the fucking entity or whatever. I get my water or whatever from the kitchen because that's probably my or that was my objective off rip, right? I needed some water and I needed to walk to see the effects, right? So I'm walking around my house back to my room, right? And I get back in there, right? And eventually I lay back down. I don't remember this. I don't remember like what happened in between me walking back and laying down, but all I remember is that I lay down and the room starts getting smoky, right? And this was always like a sign for me, right? The room started getting like smoky and like cracks started appearing in the walls, right? And it wasn't like cracks like I don't know, it was just like the paint started chipping in lines kind of and it was like cracks. It was strange and out of these cracks would come smoke. So I was sitting here like, "Oh, I'm seeing shit." Like I could still tell that it wasn't like real life or whatever, but I'm like, okay, this is like kind of insane, Like I'm starting to see smoke and shit, right? Now, I don't know if this is just like one of the only times that I could remember just because of how fried this whole thing of me doing this was, right? But I just remember seeing the smoke and cracks, right? And I remember, I've said this in stories times before, right? But I never really see the spiders too much, and if I do, they're really small. But the bug armies that I would see, like there was just like armies of bugs, bro. There was like just like thousands of tiny bugs that would crawl in like groups and like they would just like crawl across the wall. I don't know if they were ants. They almost actually looked like tiny spiders, but I don't know what they were. But I would walk or they would walk across the walls and shit, and I would see them and I'd be like just looking at them and shit. So, basically after a while of the the whole smoke and cracks shit starts in my room. Like I said this before that I don't see like shadow people, but I guess I meant more the Hat Man, right? Because there was always this like there was a side of my room, right? It was like almost like a mini hallway, not really though. It was like a 5 foot indent in the wall that led to a closet, if that makes sense, right? And from my bed, you could see into this wall indent type shit thing, right? And in that wall indent thing, right? I just saw like shadow ghost people, right? And I'm just like, um, what the fuck, right? Like I just see these shadow ghost people, right? And at this point, I think I lost my sense of cool, right? Not my sense of cool, but my sense of reality because I stopped knowing that that shit was fake, and I got to talking to those motherfuckers, right? And I have this thing that I had this thing that I used to do when I took Benadryl, right? Where I would talk to like shadow ghost people that sometimes I couldn't see, but sometimes I could. But I would talk to these shadow ghosts, and sometimes they were mean, sometimes they were nice. I don't remember what they were on this night, but I do also remember somebody else coming to talk to me, right? And this was a friend at the time, right? I actually ended up robbing this kid for edibles, but um this was a friend that had popped up into my mind, I guess. And in my head, I just thought he was there, right? And we just talked or whatever. And this is like a common thing, right? Um fucking he just disappears, right? And I actually wasn't looking at him because which is kind of normal for me because sometimes I just don't like I don't like making eye contact with people sometimes. So I guess I just assumed it was normal and I was just talking to him and I had glanced over a couple times, he was there, but this time it was just like a smoke cloud that was going up. So this nigga literally poofed away, right? He poofed away from me. So after that shit kind of scared the shit out of me, like as it always does. I get lonely and scared because I thought I had a friend for a little bit or something. I'm not sure. Like I thought I don't know why I would get so lonely and scared. I don't know why that was the thing that scared me the most, but dude, it gave me a weird fucking feeling. Like that shit felt fucking weird. So after my little nightmare fiasco ends in the middle of the night, right? I decide that either it was enough for me or that I blacked out and I just fucking passed out and went to sleep, right? And I think it was the second option because if it were up to me at the time, I probably would have lived out my little fucking Five Nights at Freddy's nightmare adventure, right? But we've come actually full circle, okay? We've mentioned Five Nights at Freddy's for now the third time in this video, and we're gonna mention it for a fourth, okay? We're going balls deep this time. I woke up in the morning feeling like I was in one of the cameras from FNAF 1, okay? I woke up feeling like shit. I woke up feeling like a fucking static TV, guys. I woke up and I felt fucking weirder than I did like the night before, bro. I felt like I was tripping harder when I woke up than I fucking fell asleep tripping, right? I was going like some nightmare fucking weird fiasco was going on in the middle of the night, right? But, this shit was 10 times crazier, right? So, I wake up and I don't know what the fuck is happening, right? Like, I know I'm at my mom's house, but that's about it. That I'm in my room, and I don't know why it was so like complicated to be like, I was so, I don't know what I had to do, bro. Like, I don't, it was insane, right? So on this day, it was a fateful day. I remember this. I had a doctor's appointment, right? Little did I know I would be going for another reason, because as I fucking am getting ready for what I think was going to be school, my stepdad comes in the room and he's like, you have a doctor's appointment today, right? And this does not click in my head, right? I'm like, what the fuck? What is he talking about? What is a doctor? What is this like? And my only response to him, and I'll never forget this, was, I need to find the cat. And he's like, no, like, you need to get ready. Like, we're gonna go to this doctor's appointment. And I'm like, no, like, I need to find the cat. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you need to get ready. Like you don't need to find the cat. And I'm just like, I'm gonna go find the cat. And he's like, no, don't find the cat. And now I'm starting to get pissed. I'm like, why? Why can't I just go find the fucking cat, right? And he's sitting there and he's like, are you high right now? Like, what's going on with you? Like, are you just tired? Like, what's going, I don't know what's going on with you right now. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna go find this fucking El Gato right now. Like, I'm gonna go find this shit. So, as I'm on my conquest for the got or the fucking cat, right? We're not going full Spanish, right? As I'm on my conquest for the cat, he is snitching on me to my mom, right? And which is fine, right? What are you gonna expect, right? He's snitching on me to my mom, full force right now. And I'm just sitting there trying to find my cat. I'm on the cat tree and I actually find him, but not before I can't really hang out with him that much. And I don't know why I wanted to. My mom calls me into her room like she's about to beat my ass. So I'm like, oh fuck. I don't think I knew that I even took Benadryl or like anything. Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on, right? Usually I'd be fine. I'd just kind of make it through my day though. Like, I would just be confused as fuck all day. Like, I'd talk to my friends, and shit would be fine. But like, I'd probably just be like confused, and I probably wouldn't talk too much for the first hour of school, right? So, I get called into my fucking mom's room, and I'm like, oh god. And she's like, what did you take? And I guess it became very clear as I started talking to them more. Um, because I just like I wasn't giving them good responses or anything. Like, usually I, like I said, I would have just went to school and not dealt with them very much, but on this day it was a doctor's appointment, so I couldn't really like, cop out, just deal with it like that. So, my mom's like, you have an appointment, and she's like, obviously she knows I'm not in the right state of mind to be doing this appointment at all, right? But apparently I was in such a like, fucked up state of mind that my mom was like, I think you need to go to the hospital, right? So my mom packs me up in the car, bro, and she sends my ass to the ward, right? Now, after we get there, right, she takes me to the hospital or whatever, and we turn down. I'm like, I realized that I was going to the ward because we start walking towards the ward, and I've been there before, okay? We're in the ward or whatever, and after this I remember I came down pretty quick. I just had to like admit what had happened, right? um to a doctor. I probably lied about the dose after, I figured myself out, because like I said, that's all I needed to do, bro. If they would have just let me figure myself out, I probably would have just been fine. But also I don't think so, because I had a doctor's appointment on that day, and the doctor would have just been fucked. Okay, I honestly don't know if I would have rather went to the ward or just the damn doctor's appointment, y'all. I'm not even sure. But as we're fucking, what's it called? As we're at the doctor's office, I'm being asked about what I took or whatever. I'm getting a fucking IV or whatever. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna die right now. Like, they're fucking like it's. I feel like I'm being fucking resuscitated, right? So, as a conclusion to this story, the hospital shit, it kind of ends the whole action of it or whatever. I got in trouble. I got grounded, and I ended up having to stay in the ward for a night. So that's always ass. Like, nobody fucks with the ward. No fucking teenager fucks with it. I'm sure a lot of you, like my subscribers have, like, been through that before, and it's just not fun. Above all, it's fucking boring. Like, that's just like the worst part of the psych ward. Like, that shit is just super boring. I think my mom thought I lost my shit. That's why she tried to put me in the loony bin. But as I came down and admitted my faults, I think she realized that I was straight. So, if you guys enjoyed this story time, make sure to leave a like. Like I said, we are very close to 1,000 subscribers, so I would really appreciate it if you guys could show some love and fucking subscribe to this bitch. And yeah, I hope I fucking entertained you for these 15 minutes. Join the Discord later.